Good morning, Alta Realty Group agents. This is Kevin Lauren, the Director of Training and Marketing here. And today we're going to talk about our perfect listing marketing mix. And we're joined today by Bill Seitz. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Kevin.
All right, how are we doing today, buddy?
I'm doing all right. And yourself?
Doing fantastic. And we're also joined by our corporate broker, Travis Breton. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning, Kevin. How's it going?
Very well. All right, without further ado, first of all, Bill, we'd like you to tell us what's going on in the mortgage world, and I'm assuming you're going to want me to pull up our 10-year treasury.
Yeah, that's always a good way to start the day, especially for myself.
Right.
As I get alerted multiple times a day of what's happening, but I do like to use that as the bellwether, as we all know. Mm-hmm. So we had a little bit of an uptick this morning in the 10-year treasury. Yesterday we closed below 2%, which was interesting because that's kind of a marquee line there. It'll be interesting to see what happens here in the coming days. But for anyone that watches the news, we have several things that are going on in the geopolitical space. One being the Iran showdown.
Yeah.
Hopefully, without getting political here on our webinar, I'm rooting for people to clear heads prevail there.
Indeed.
We don't want to see anything blow up over there.
No.
And then obviously our kind of our trade negotiations, trade war, whatever you want to call it, with China is obviously something that's on the market's mind. So
Sure.
When the market gets a little bit nervous or the uncertainty, people like safety, and the treasury is a safe place for money. Mm-hmm. And when people put their money in the bond market, interest rates actually go down.
And worldwide, right, Bill?
That's right.
This is a worldwide sanctuary for cash, is the U.S. 10-year treasury.
That's it. Because there's not many investments in the world that are backed with as much security as the United States federal government. So
right.
That's the way that works. But I will have a couple quick announcements, Kevin, before you get started.
Sure.
I want to congratulate Benny Lederman. He's one of our new agents. He's plugged into OpCity. I think he's been with us for about 6 or 7 weeks now.
Yeah.
And he is on his third OpCity deal. He has 2 closings, and I think another one, his third deal will close in the next couple of weeks. So outstanding work from
phenomenal.
Benny Lederman.
Come on, Benny, great job.
It just proves once again these leads do work. If you work the leads and you stay committed to the program. Travis even talked about it last week or the week before. He closed one himself. He tried it out and he executed through it. These things are a great way to get going and be actively doing real estate if you're slow at the time at this moment.
Even if you're not, it's extra revenue. It's a great way to build in extra revenue for your business throughout the year.
That's it.
No reason not to do it. Yeah, I mean, if our corporate broker Travis is doing it, you got to be doing it too, right, 100%. Travis?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's just
an easy one.
Yep, easy one. Take it.
Also, everyone who's participating in OpCity, please update your referrals. It takes only a couple minutes. Just go in there, either release the lead, give the update, say it's on hold, whatever you got to do, whatever the status is of it. Just take set an alert for yourself one time a week. Spend 10 minutes. Doesn't take it doesn't take much time at all. But please update those leads so we can stay current with OpCity and show that we're an efficient brokerage that's an efficient partner brokerage with them.
Right.
And then lastly, we do have a new investor that we just got approved with. I just want everyone to know that we can go down to 580 on the FICO, which is nice. A lot of times, sometimes we have borrowers that have some things that are some skeletons in the closet. Maybe they've gotten their financial situation turned around. Maybe they've come into some money, but maybe they've got some lingering FICO issues that are just still there.
Yeah.
We do have another investor that we have gotten approved with. So that should, give us another couple options if we have borrowers that are in that scenario. So if you have a situation like that, please give me a shout or email me, and I will certainly walk you through any opportunities we have there. So that's it for me, Kevin, and I look forward to listening to you on your presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
And so getting into our presentation for the day. So listings, as we all know, are kind of the holy grail. We're always looking for the listings. Once we get a listing, the listings are really a springboard to get more listings. So we really got to treat each listing, even if it's maybe a lower price point, Travis. I think everybody needs to treat each listing as though it is a marquee listing. And you're going to use that and the collateral you make and the single property websites and all the photography, all that stuff is going to help you get more listings, right?
Exactly.
So I think, sometimes agents go, oh, this is a lower price point listing. I can probably kind of get away with it. But everything that you do is a reflection of your marketing. And that is what you are marketing to the next seller. And so it's really, really important. And so I'm going to just go ahead and beat the dead horse and just go ahead and throw it out there. Photography. Got to pay for photography. Professional photography. Someone's going to take those images, a real estate photographer that knows real estate photography, and is going to take those images back into Photoshop, and they're going to make them look outstanding. You've got to start there, and staging too, especially at a higher price point home. The staging and getting those pictures to look outstanding, that's going to be that sets the stage for everything that you do in your marketing. And so once you've got great images, then you can make great single property websites. You can make great flyers and postcard stuff. You can really show that property in the best light that you could possibly have it in. And so,
hey, Kevin.
Yes.
I got a quick opinion or just input here on staging.
Sure.
A lot of agents probably think that we're talking about hiring a third party stager or somebody that does specific staging. While that may be needed, I've sold, I don't even know how many properties over the last 20 years, but I've been in a lot of different situations, some where you do need to bring an actual third party person who comes in, furnishes the home. You got to work out those that negotiation either with the seller or with yourself on how that gets paid for. But a lot of times the house just needs to be decluttered, and staging can just mean reorganizing, cleaning out the person's or the client's home to maybe they have good furniture. It just needs to be thinned out. The space needs to be opened up. Maybe we need to put up some, put in a couple plants, some accessories. It just depends on the situation, but staging doesn't necessarily mean you have to go in and hire somebody to do the whole production. Sometimes if you're good with design, you kind of understand the components of the house, the layout, you can do those things with the seller and kind of, stage it yourself.
Heck yeah. And Travis, you got any comment there?
Yeah, and it's okay to, stick stuff in the garage, in my opinion. If you need to remove some bulky furniture or something like that, usually people understand that the sellers are preparing to move, and so if they can do it neatly in the garage, that's usually not too big of an issue.
Yeah. And
still make the walls and things accessible, though, because you will have a home inspection. So.
Exactly. And then I know plenty of agents that have their own, they've got a variety of their own staging items that they'll bring in. They'll have, a few, fake plants that look awesome. They'll have, some paintings or some, things that can, make the walls look a little bit better. So that's not a bad thing to think about as well as you do more and more deals. Hey, some of these agents, they've got their own little staging kits ready to go. Right, Bill? Or right, Travis?
Oh, yeah. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not a bad idea as well. And then, we've got plenty of agents that they themselves are experts at staging. And that's a great thing to market to your sellers and to get more listings as well. Say, hey, I'm an agent, I'm awesome, but I also do staging. So it's a great little feather in the cap there. So photography, paramount, got to get it, we start there. And then from there, then we can, create our single property websites that look outstanding. Here's one from Patricia Amati, recent listing that she's just got. It's a $1.6 million listing. And she took the time to get really good photos. And so the photos are spectacular. They're professionally done. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a cloudy day this day. But notice that in these pictures, there's Photoshop. The person has gone in, they've Photoshopped these. She hired a professional. She didn't try to take these on, her iPhone. So really, really great. So now our single property websites look spectacular. And so we can email this, as we know, and we can use this link in all kinds of marketing. So that gets us back to our little mix here. So once we've done the photography and we've got everything ready, we've got our single property website up, we've created our flyers, then we can do some really, really cool stuff. So then it's our opinion that it's a great idea to do a pre-listing announcement, both to realtors in your area. You want to network with your own, realtors in your area. You also want to do a broker's open. You want to do that kind of stuff. And then it's a great idea approximately a week or 5 days before you upload that property into the MLS is to do a pre-listing Facebook or Instagram announcement and say, hey, this is coming up, and do a little teaser, right? And if you don't have your property website up yet, you can just do one picture and boost that post out and spend about $25 for the week to have that post boosted in your area and the surrounding areas. And then after that, then you upload your property to the MLS. And I know, Travis, you do that kind of stuff a lot, right?
Yeah, I like to consider it just, controlling your listing, basically. Obviously, if a seller needs to get the home on the market ASAP, I'm going to get the home on the market ASAP. But
Sure.
typically, I have a flow as to how I roll them out, because I want to make sure that when it hits the MLS, that my photos are done, everything is ready to go in the MLS on the first shot, and that it's not missing a picture that's going to be uploaded in 2 or 3 days or something like that. So. I always put them active on a Thursday and let it run the weekend. I get my first open house in, but that gives me basically the beginning of the week to get my photos, to get my pre-marketing done, my sign up, and get some excitement going for the first open houses during the weekend.
Absolutely. And so a really good idea, of course, at that same time is to have a coming soon kind of a rider, get your sign up, and a coming soon rider for a couple of days before it hits the MLS, just to kind of, get a little buzz. Then, of course, you upload to the MLS. It's a really good idea to, take that single property website that we create and run a simple Facebook and Instagram ad for a month. Just set it for the month. If you sell it before the month's over, you can always cancel it and, not spend the money. But just set it for a month, set it and forget it. Mail flyers. It's a great idea to do property flyers to the farm area. And again, this is more to get, the next listing. So you want a very, very, high quality, property. You want a high quality, a really good flyer that looks great, and you want to be able to send these out to, the people in your farm. So that way you're building buzz, and then it's not a bad idea after that to go walk the neighborhood and introduce yourself and hand out that flyer. Or if the person doesn't answer the door, which happens all the time, put a door hanger on there, right, Travis?
Yep.
And so Travis, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, basically that's just, circle prospecting 101. Using something you have to leverage, to get more business from it. Usually in our listing presentation, I know we talk about, we're sending out postcards and blah, blah, blah to the neighborhood. Really, that's for us to, try and get more business from that listing. I guess
it looks good. The sellers like it, though.
Call and say, hey, I want to go see that home. But for the most part, you're showing proof of business basically to the neighborhood that, hey, look, I'm in the area, I'm listing stuff, and also sending out the just solds and showing, hey, I just sold it too for this price, and I can sell yours. So,
absolutely,
getting a mix of whatever fits in your budget, I guess, whether it's 100 or 1,000, in a little radius around, or the entire neighborhood, or however you want to set up your circle prospecting, is really a great way to get additional business. It's not that expensive. And if you're doing it consistently, you're really going to start seeing, the phone's going to just start ringing, basically.
Yeah. I mean, we see it. Everybody sees it. Everybody lives in a community, and there are those few agents that consistently do this stuff. They're consistently handing stuff out. And then we also, everybody sees the agent that sends out one postcard, and you never, I was like, oh, this is great. And then you throw it away, and you never hear from that agent again. So it's the consistency that it's really the consistency that is the magic behind this.
Yeah.
So it's very important. So, and then another thing, just with regard to the door hangers and the flyers and walking the neighborhood, is you are able to go and individually invite these people to your open house. So your reason for being at their doorstep is threefold. Introduce yourself, give them the flyer about the property, and inform them of what the property price is and that kind of stuff, and so they can get an understanding of what's going on in their market. And third, invite them to the open house. So it's a really, some people get really, really scared about walking the street, and going around door to door. It's not scary. You have a very good reason to be there. You're not trying to you're not pushy. You're not trying to bother them. It's just a simple, hey, here you go. And if they're not there, you leave them a little, a flyer or a door hanger, right?
Yep.
That depends on the neighborhood, Kevin.
Yeah, it does depend on the neighborhood, I guess.
Well, let's talk about that.
Recommend.
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about, making sure that our farm is a worthy farm. So certainly, I'm not going to send, people into a dangerous market and walk door to door where there's crack houses. It's probably not your market, right?
I've sold a commercial building in a dangerous neighborhood, and it was scary. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And
So
there was bullet holes in some of the windows. But it was a legitimate cash flowing building. But it was like, hey, I'm going in there during the daylight hours, but I'm not going after sunset. I'm going to stay away.
Right. So for the most part, most of our agents are working, their farm, or in most cases in the area that they live, so it's a safe thing to do. So good point though, guys. You certainly don't want to be out there doing that kind of stuff in a very bad neighborhood. So after that, another great thing is you've got that great single property website. Well, heck, go ahead and email that to all the people in your sphere, all the people in your database. Hey guys, just got this listing. And if nothing else, even if they're outside the area, it's just a reminder. And it's just, I'm over here. I'm, Joe Realtor. I'm still doing real estate. I'm professional. This is what I do all the time. So these little reminders are so key. Even if they're just little touches, right? Then obviously the open house and the brokers open, network with the agents in your area, super key and extremely necessary. When you get a listing, you got to know the agents in the area. You got to go to the mixers. You got to know, who the big people are. Call them, let them know who you are and what you have. And then a really good idea is if you do get some remarks, while you're at the open house, you get a few remarks from, neighbors, just comments about the house. Oh, this is nice. I like this. What a great idea is take a little quote and say, hey, Mary J, or, whoever this person is, hey, they, said this about the house. Put that in a little quote, do a little Facebook or Instagram ad with that little remark. And, literally these Facebook ads, you can spend $20 and you're showing the seller that you're doing marketing, and you're also getting that property out to a lot of people, and you're getting your name out to a lot of people. So all of it's a snowball, right, Travis?
Yeah, and you really have to think down the road a little bit. Don't get upset if you didn't get any leads from that one particular listing, or I say leads like conversions or something.
Right.
You have to think, it takes a little while to get it building, and as long as you're touching these people, if they're getting something from you consistently, you're definitely going to have your investment.
And for sure. And so another thing is, of course, we've got our our digital listing presentations. And let's see, where's mine? Okay, so we've got our digital listing presentations. And so this is all the stuff that we're talking about, we put in our digital listing presentation. And so before we get the listing, this is how we explain to our sellers or our prospective sellers, this is how we're going to market your site. So this whole marketing mix, we distill down into our listing presentation. And so this is, and so great way to, explain to a potential seller how we're going to do it. So, these are completely customizable. So right now I'm working with Charlie Sheldrake, new agent, and we're making a really cool one with him. And so he'll have an amazing listing presentation that he'll be able to send out to people, send out to prospects, even, sit down with prospects. So really, really cool stuff. And, I think that these digital listing presentations that outline our marketing plan for the property, they are, in my mind, a major sales tool. Right, Travis?
Yeah.
I mean,
they really are.
they just make you look professional.
Kevin, can you when you're done with Charlie's presentation, can you bring that back on maybe next week's webinar or whenever it's completed so we can see it?
Absolutely. And then another thing that is key is, having these client welcome kits done, and Charlie's creating a really cool one with that. So I think it'd be a great idea to just bring that on next week as well. And even some of the other client welcome kits, because they're just such a great way to get business.
One thing that's really important too, Kevin, is most of the stuff is digital. And, there's a lot of agents out there that still aren't comfortable with being completely digital.
Yeah.
But I think it creates an opportunity. And I think that if you can show your clientele, your sellers, your buyers, that you are a digital agent, that you've embraced technology, that you know how to use technology, well, that creates a competitive advantage. And having a competitive advantage in the marketplace is essential to your success as a realtor and building your business.
Absolutely. And so, and the other thing that is really good about this, the agent marketing system, as most of you are figuring out, is it's very intuitive and it's really easy to use. And, especially when we have our property web or our account connected to the MLS via IDX, it's all automatic. So if you upload your property to the MLS, it creates the doggone property for you, or the property website for you. It creates some of the collateral, creates the virtual tours. All that stuff is done for you. So you can, look like you are some kind of, technical guru, and you could barely know how to use the thing, and you're still going to look great. So it's a really easy system to use. And so again, I encourage all of you, if you haven't got into the system, definitely schedule time with me so we can go through it. We can really open that thing up and, make sure that we're using all the tools. And then the other thing that I didn't go through is our text writers. So, I think it's really important that all of our agents are, just like you said, Bill, embracing the technology and using our text writer feature. So again, I'll just go through it real quick. All of our agent dashboards come with our own texts. And so we can create our own unique text writer that says something like nice homes or Kevin sells or whatever the heck it is. And all you have to do is text that particular text to 79564, and we can make sure that person that texts it gets sent directly to our single property website. They'll get all of the property information from that text. And then, of course, we get to capture them in our CRM. So it's really an important way to capture potential buyers, and again, to show our sellers that we are embracing technology. We're utilizing all the latest tools in order to sell their house, right?
I like the text writer too. You could take it, one step further if you don't want to make text writers for every single home. If you're farming the neighborhood, what better thing to put on all of your marketing pieces plus your sign writer is, text, whatever the neighborhood is, Hidden Meadows,
Yeah,
79564, and maybe you have a little landing page for Hidden Meadows Homes or, different things like that, a nice lead capture page. And if it's on all of your marketing material, you're definitely going to collect leads from it because people like to text. They know they're going to get the info back to them instantly, and you get their cell phone number. So
it's a win-win.
Yeah, and you can put that same sign writer on every single property you list in that neighborhood. Maybe you just have a few different ones, or if you're really trying to drill down into a certain zip code or something, go reserve that zip code now and put that on the sign writer. Text 92008 to 79564 to see all the homes available, or whatever your landing page is going to be. I would recommend probably a nice little landing page with some lead capture.
Yeah, and so we can create, like you're absolutely right, Travis. We can create community pages, and so let me just show you guys real quick how this works. So we just create a unique text code. So let's say it's our little neighborhood we're working is Turtle Ridge, right? Oh wait, it's got to be all one word.
Yeah.
So if that's not been taken with this system, I can now, the response is where we can put in the URL, right?
Yeah.
And so say my particular URL was going to be this property. We just copy that URL and we put this right here. We just say, click here for info.
And the response will be the automated text that they'll get back.
Exactly.
On their cell phone. You don't even have to do anything.
And so all they'll do is click the link and they'll be sent directly here. Directly here. And so the other way to do that would be to create a community landing page, very easy to do, and put that URL in here. So you can really do anything you want with these text codes, and they're really, really, it makes you look really savvy when you're using these text codes, and a great way to capture people's information. So I'm going to cancel this because we don't want to mess up with Marcellus.
Yeah, I think it's a really underrated lead method.
It really is. And I'm telling you guys, the sellers love it. When you're telling a seller that people, they're, instead of having a flyer box, on your signage, you have a sign writer that says text info here, and you're going to get every bit of info. The sellers love it. You're using technology. It's just a really, really great way to augment everything that we're doing.
Yeah, you don't have to have those sprinklers turning on and ruining all your flyers.
Yeah.
Everybody's had that, right?
I have.
You're like, oh, great. And so it's just, you're bringing your business into, this millennium. You're not doing the antiquated stuff.
Well, not only that, Kevin, as millennial buyers become a bigger portion of the buying pie of the overall percentage of people that are starting to buy homes now, the millennials know how to use this technology. They see the link, they know exactly what to do. They don't even have to think through it. No. So you might as well be putting it out there in the format that they are familiar with.
100%. You got to speak millennial, right?
Exactly.
We're all learning. So if anybody, I don't see any questions in the chat. We've run out of time. But if anybody has specific questions, please don't hesitate to book a one-on-one appointment with me. You just go to calendly.com/Alta Realty Group. Any one of my emails that you may have received has a link to schedule an appointment with me. So a lot of the agents are reaching out and doing that. I'm really glad because it's a great way for us to further your marketing and further your business. So
Kevin,
yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. One last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin brought up some really good stuff. Travis, some really good input as well. I think that, Kevin talked about photography and not skipping out on that professional level look to market your homes. I just want to reiterate, our commission program is so good in the sense that you're keeping literally 96, 97, 98, 99%, depending if you use the loyalty program with Clearview Mortgage. But it's you're keeping so much of the revenue of your commission. Invest back into the photography. Make yourself look like a pro. We cannot say it enough. Do not take the pictures with your iPhone or the video. Maybe if you're doing some social media stuff outside the home, that's okay.
Sure.
But use professional level photography. It's going to make you look good to the outside agents and the outside people that are looking from, maybe the neighborhood, but also you got to do that for your clients. I mean, just cannot skip that. And you have the room to do it with our commission program. So I wanted to reiterate that.
Oh, I appreciate that, Bill. And then also, if you don't have a good photographer, we do have a pretty good relationship with Preview First. And so if you don't have any, good photographer in your area, let me know. They do have a pretty good network. They're really good in LA and Orange County and, Southern California, but they do have a good network up north too. So don't hesitate to reach out to me and we'll make sure that you have some good, reputable photography.
Just to build one last thing on what Bill said, the photography and how you're presenting this listing, it's definitely reflective of yourself. But think about the other agent that's going to be making the offer too. We all make assumptions on kind of what we're looking at in the MLS and how things are presented. So it is going to kind of set the stage potentially of what kind of offer you're going to get and how they're going to react towards you. So think about the other agent that's going to be making the offer to and how you want to come across to them. You want to come across as professional and full time, and this is your career. You're not just some part-time agent or something like that.
And even if you are,
even
if you are, you want to present yourself as ultra professional.
You don't want them to treat you that way.
Exactly, Travis. Well, thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate you being on the line. Bill and Travis, always appreciate your input. And agents, get out there, make it a great week. It's a beautiful day out there. Have a productive week, and we'll see you guys next week on the webinar.